What Vegemite toast is going on here? Honestly though, what is Vegemite? Pull your head in. This case study I feel like is super relevant right now because it shows what happens when you can put all of your investment into emerging tech that's not ready to scale. I'm looking at you, AI obsessed people. 7 years of bad luck later, ASX was left with a $250 million blockchain hangover. The Australian Securities Exchange, which I'll refer to as ASX, is Australia's primary exchange market. Think of it as more than just a stock market, right? It ranks in the world's top 20 exchange groups by market capitalization. So it's a huge organization. It's kind of like a modern group that's more comprehensive, absolutely essential to the nation's regional financial markets. And the reason that's important is it cannot go down. It cannot be broken. So this project was announced in 2017, went on for 7 years before it was abandoned, not even a failed implementation, it was completely stopped. The goal was to overhaul their existing chest clearing and settlement platform with this new ledger blockchain technology. It would be a first for anyone in the world to achieve this type of infrastructure. Saw the hype around blockchain. It was like, hey, we're going all in. We're going to put our entire platform on blockchain to achieve that enhanced efficiency, security, and transparency. By 2022, there was multiple delays as well as independent reviews that questioned regulatory issues. That not only led to a 250 million Australian dollars loss, but a huge embarrassment and honestly credibility issue for ASX. So what happened from a technical perspective? Similar to what we see a lot of businesses doing now with specific AI firms or quantum firms, ASX worked with a blockchain platform called Digital Asset Holdings. So they were the core technical partner that delivered things like the software, and the actual ledger architecture that was distributed ultimately was broken. They were unable to scale it. They basically delivered an unfinished project. An independent review found that 63% of the software was actually unfinished and nearly half the code had been completely rewritten. The architecture could not process the high volume of transactions needed for a platform or market of this size. Trades needed to be validated and synchronized across multiple nodes. This is a great example of where theory doesn't meet execution, because in theory, this ecosystem is decentralized and should be pretty resilient, but in execution, it creates a lot of latencies and just overall delay. Also, decentralization didn't match their market structure. ASX, as a central market operator, didn't need that peer-to-peer decentralization. So many features within their blockchain stack were completely unnecessary, which we see a lot. This leads to very complex things like APIs and integrations that just aren't necessary and lead to building up this absolute Frankenstein of an ecosystem. Long story short, this newer emerging technology was not ready for an industrial size operation. Theoretical promises versus practical scale. There was also a huge strategic flaw, which I see all the time, especially in all AI, all-in companies, is the want to be first, right? They want to be so innovative that instead of implementing and scaling pilots so you can catch these types of critical errors, you just immediately go to a direct migration. For a system of this size, you're supporting billions of dollars in transaction. That's a lot. The complexity and risk was just way too much to go in with this big bang approach. And this, of course, as we know, is a leadership failure. During this project, ASX had a lot of turnover within their leadership, which led to a huge breakdown in just governance and basic project management skills. They had extremely, obviously, weak risk management. And risk management is so critical so that you can not only foresee this, right? Nobody has a crystal ball, but just understand that it's a possibility. When you put your entire platform in the hands of someone else, like digital assets, that is a huge risk for you, especially when it's a technology that you don't understand. No contingency planning leaves the entire system so exposed, especially when the technology fails at this level. They were also super shady about explaining or disclosing what's happening, which ultimately led to the Australian Securities and Investment Commission being like, hey man, you lied to us, and opened suit against them in 2024 for misleading or deceptive statements. You got to tell people when your technology is failing, you can't have this optimistic approach when it's not true, especially on a financial system. So in today's crazy, weird, hype-fueled marketplace that's so high on AI, quantum computing, automation, all of this buzz, this is a cautionary tale that showcases when you try to be the first to rush to do this on a global scale, it can absolutely be not only expensive, but embarrassing. Do not bet your entire business on tech that can't scale. Validate that technical readiness early. Now, go do it right now. Stop, get off TikTok and go do it. Establish a very sophisticated risk management framework to ensure that you can anticipate these critical failures. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Preserve those legacy capabilities before you just shut everything off. I know you're so excited. I'm pumped too. But we need alternative pathways before, especially when working with new tech that has not been proven. As I always tell my clients, we're not going to be the first. We're not going to be the second, because that is too risky. As always, it doesn't matter what I say, right? And honestly, it doesn't even matter what happened in these stories. It matters what's going on in your business and that you are eyes wide open around that. So I invite you guys to put your insights in the comments. I learned just as much as from you guys as you do from me. And that's the point, is bringing these things to life when a lot of times businesses or software systems, partners want to hold it as a secret so their reputation isn't damaged. We need to talk about things so we can fix them. If you have a story you want me to cover, whether it's from your internal organization, that would be completely anonymous, or from bigger, more high-profile failures, also let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. How you going, Cronky? This is embarrassing. Come on, Kyler. You watch like Bluey on repeat in this household.